everybody. So I'm Frances Mortimer. I'm based in the UK at the Centre for Sustainable Healthcare. And I'm sure I've met many of you before, but very welcome, a warm welcome to everybody. I'm really delighted today that we have got two very knowledgeable speakers, both from North Africa, both with a lot of experience and expertise in water conservation and hemodialysis. We're going to look at two aspects. One is sort of broadly speaking, like what can we be doing right now, and how can we get to scale up the solutions that we have right now. And then the second part is a little bit more about the future, like what are the next opportunities and challenges. So I'm really delighted to have Professor Mohamed Ben Hmida and Dr. Faisal Taras. I will introduce Professor Ben Hmida first, because he's going to speak first, and then we'll come on to Dr. Taras. So Professor Ben Hmida is a professor of nephrology in Sfax in Tunisia, and his research and practice focus on the clinical, logistical and environmental challenges of dialysis in water-stressed regions. And he's worked extensively on implementing sustainable green dialysis strategies, including reverse osmosis upgrades, water reuse and circular water management, emphasizing resilience and stewardship in arid and semi-arid areas. And we've invited Mohamed to speak to us about the reality of water shortages affecting dialysis provision today, and the practicalities of implementing RO reject water collection in hemodialysis units. Mohamed, are you happy to go ahead and begin your presentation?
Yeah. My slides are ready. How to share it with the full screen? What shall I do?
If you can you see a little white rectangle with an arrow in it that says share somewhere? My one is next to the red leave button in the window.
No. It's the problem. I can't find it.
Oh.
There is. Wait a moment. This one. Maybe this one.
It has an arrow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, arrow up. Yeah. I will share.
Try that. And just to let everyone know, we're recording the session, and we will be making it available to people to watch afterwards. So perhaps when people are presenting, you might like to, everyone might like to turn off their cameras apart from the presenter, but then during the discussion, it would be really nice if you like to turn them on again. Mohamed, how are you getting on?
I'm checking for the
Find the right window.
In the app of the screen, right?
Yeah, I found it, but how to share the slides?
So when you click on that, it often says you can choose which window you want to share, and then you click on the one.
Everything is here. Everything is here except the slides. To share.
Okay. Do you want to email me your slides and I can share them? What would you like to do, Mohamed? Do you want to send me your slides and I share them?
I try to find it, yeah.
Okay. It's good. It's allowed a couple more people to join us, so yeah. Well done. So we can see your screen now.
So in the bottom.
So if you just choose where you've got the
Perfect.
Yes. Perfect.
My slides are on the screen, and I share it with the arrow up. But
You are sharing your whole screen now. So if you go back to the slides and put them in a presenter mode, then we see them. Yeah.
Yeah. You see them?
We see them. Yeah. And if you want to start the presentation, yes, perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
now is there? It's okay now.
That is perfect. Thank you.
It's perfect. Sorry for the delay, technical delay. First, I would like to thank the organizing committee for this kind invitation to meet together to talk about this problem, water conservation in hemodialysis. And I will not give lesson from North Africa, but I will share with my friend Faisal our experience with what happened to our region and to our patients. As you can see here, and according to the World Resources Institute, the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa, is one of the world's driest regions. But the problem is not limited to the MENA region. It tackles also South Europe, Spain, Italy, Greece, and so on. So we'll try to find how to tackle this barrier and how to share opportunities of reducing, reusing, and recycling RO reject water. As an introduction, we can say that water plays a critical role in hemodialysis therapy as a primary component of the treatment process and as a resource used in dialysis operation. However, its implications extend beyond the treatment itself, impacting the environment and resource sustainability. In our paper in 2023, we demonstrated that the hemodialysis total global annual water consumption is about 265 million cubic meters. And 2/3 of this amount is the reverse osmosis reject water, about 176 million cubic meters, that goes down to drain, as you can see here. Both effluent, the spent dialysis, and the RO reject water go to the sewer because they are currently not systematically reused or recycled. Several valorization attempts are on work by recycling these effluents through various technological processes, including electrodialysis and bioengineering processes, leading to alternative resources. I will tackle the first part of my talk, the reality of water shortages affecting dialysis provision today. Water shortages are already having real serious effect on dialysis provision in various places, and the problem is likely to worsen unless addressed. We will see another view of how water scarcity is impacting dialysis today. What are the main challenges, some case example, and possible responses? North Africa, as I told you, is a multi-year period of below average rainfall and worsening drought, which is reducing reservoir levels and stressing municipal supplies. And the total broad water stress directly raises the risk of interrupted dialysis services because hemodialysis is a water intensive and requires high quality purified water. We'll see some region and country highlights. We start with Morocco, which is in extremely high water stress. Published Experiences from Morocco centers describe water scarcity as a real operational constraint. Some centers have documented measures to adapt. Dialysis in Morocco can represent a large, measurable annual water footprint. We move to Tunisia, which is also in extremely high water stress. Indeed, renewable water availability in 2020 was reported about 400 cubic meter per person per year, which is very low under the scarcity threshold. And national water stress indicators have risen sharply in recent years. That placed Tunisia among countries facing severe water constraints. That national shortage constrains hospital ability to rely on stable municipal water and increases pressure to secure alternative resources or invest in desalination or backup systems. This leads to service interruption and increased treatment costs from buying or transporting water, running desalination, or installing generators. Patient harm from either interrupted care or use of inadequately treated water, and leads some kind of inequity. Rural and low-income patients suffer most. As was widely reported, 2023 and 2024 were the hottest year, and the past decade has been the warmest. Years of warming and drought succession have led to significant drop in dike water levels, the worst of which occurred in 2023. This situation has led to a drastic reduction or even cessation of the drinking water supply in the entire Sfax region. This critical situation for hemodialysis centers has justified the help of tankers and tractors to supply water from groundwater wells at high prices via unregulated markets, opening unexpected growth of an illegal water market. The additional cost incurred the hospital and the dialysis facility is substantial due to the enormous daily water quantity required. And beside the financial burden, this water scarcity implicitly reduces the length and the number of dialysis sessions per patient. We move now to the second part of my talk, the practicality of implementing collection of RO reject water in hemodialysis unit. The collection and reuse of RO reject water in hemodialysis unit is technically feasible, but requires careful planning around plumbing, quality, safety, and regulatory compliance. We'll start with the technical and infrastructure consideration. Plumbing modification. RO reject water is normally discharged directly to the drain. To collect it, separate piping or storage tanks must be installed. And tanks should be non-corrosive and sized according to the dialysis unit water demand. The storage and distribution, RO reject water should not stagnate due to the risk of biofilm microbial growth. Tanks need covers, regular cleaning, and circulation pump if water is stored more than a few hours. And about monitoring and maintenance, Flow meters and monitoring system can quantify volume saved. Regular maintenance to prevent cross-contamination with permeate water is critical. The second part is the quality of RO reject water. Each chemical composition shows that it contains all salt and impurity removed from feed water, but is usually of better quality than typical tap water, just higher conductivity. This water is unsuitable for direct dialysis use, but safe for non-potable purpose. The microbial risk is very low. The safety and separation, absolute physical separation between RO reject water piping and dialysis water distribution is mandatory. And the black flow prevention device should be installed where reject line connect to the municipal plumbing. The fourth point is regulatory and legal issue. Most dialysis water standards regulate product water for dialysis, but not reject water. For use, local public health and environmental regulation govern acceptability. We need documentation of intended use is essential for compliance. What about cost and sustainability? Capital cost for storage tanks, piping, plumbing, disinfection system. And there is the operation cost also for maintenance, cleaning, monitoring, and transportation. The saving is important. RO reject water can be 50 to 70% of feed water. And in a 20-session hemodialysis unit, that may be thousands of liters per day recoverable. The environmental benefit is important, reduces pressure on municipal supply and demonstrate green dialysis practices. And at the end, we can see some examples of practical use in hemodialysis unit for toilet, floor, laundry, irrigation, and boiler. And as you can see here, this water can be used either in hospital for rehabilitation pools, toilet flushing, sterilization unit, laundry where it use less detergent because it's very softened, car washing, floor cleansing, shower, garden, and landscape watering, and also off-site use for watering the grass on football and golf fields and for streets cleansing. It can be used for agriculture and aquaponics, and there is the gap of regulation because there is no law requires their use, but none prohibit it. So flexible for local initiatives. We can say at the end that this reject water produced during dialysis has no contact with the blood, so there is no infectious risk. It rich in salt from deionization, but generally meet drinking water standard. Quality guidelines vary by country. Australia and Morocco have the most reference studies. It requires physicochemical and bacteriological analysis before use. We have other alternatives. Blending this reverse osmosis reject water with well water or harvested rainwater can help to lower conductivity and meet the standards required for irrigation. We propose hemodialysis effluent as an alternative resource, advocating recycling for irrigation in water-stressed regions. And this finding support on and off-site use, reducing reliance on costly desalinated water. The last chapter is the circular economy. We were first to introduce circular economy in nephrology, creating paradigm shift in our specialty. Indeed, we need to move beyond the linear model. Humanity historically used water linearly from source, single use, and deposit. With this circular approach, we have demonstrated that we can move from vicious circle in water management to virtuous circle in water management. Vicious, why? Because there was a lack of communication with stakeholders, which is a barrier to behavioral change that lead to lack of stewardship and governance in dialysis water management, that lead to low sustainability and lead to lack of awareness, and that lead to missed opportunity. And the three lacks lead to water waste and financial loss. On the opposite hand, the virtuous circle with the 3R approach, the reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce dialysis need that optimize dialysis schedules, reduce water loss. Reuse water from reverse osmosis for various purposes in the hospital and in the community. And recycle spent dialysis for various purposes in the hospital and the community that lead to water sparing and financial saving. And here you can see some illustration how to collect this water from the RO unit to the tank to collect the RO reject water, then to pump it to a reservoir on the top of the hospital, and to direct by gravity this water for sterilization, for toilet flushing, for shower, for cleansing the floor, or water the garden. And outside the hospital, we can use it also for watering the fields of football or other, and golf or the garden, and so on. And I can refer to the Malaysian experience of reusing dialysis reverse osmosis, reject water for aquaponics and horticulture that lead to carbon footprint reduced, to reduce water wastage and sustainable food source, fresh organic fish and vegetables, and lead to income generation and also a sense of pride and joy among staff and patients. So in conclusion, we can say that these achievements showcase what is possible when engineering meets audacious ambition, and nephrologists are very audacious. These efforts align with the global sustainability goals and Tunisia's urgent need to conserve water's resource and reduce water consumption. However, the implementation of such treatment in dialysis center is limited by technical, financial, and regulatory hurdles and barriers. Addressing these challenges requires innovative approach that balance environmental, economic, and public health priority. This innovation not only reduces costs, but also minimize hemodialysis environmental footprint, making it among the most advanced systems globally. You can see in this presentation, I didn't talk about the new generation of RO system because economic and financial situation of our country that cannot afford to change these units immediately in the short term. And at the end, we can say that in our fields, in dialysis, and even outside the field of nephrology, Every water drop counts. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mohamed. That's really, really a practical guide and really interesting to hear that level of detail. If it's okay with you, I think we might ask Faisal Taras to speak next and then have the discussion all together. Is that okay, Faisal?
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to have a try at sharing your slides while I introduce
Yes,
you
okay.
briefly?
Okay.
Mohamed, if you stop sharing your slides.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, all right, perfect.
So Dr. Faisal Taras is nephrologist and director of the Center of Haemodialysis Dermas in Casablanca in Morocco. And he's received many honours, including the 2025 European Renal Association Award for Excellence in Sustainable Nephrology. His research focuses on climate resilient dialysis solutions and circular economy applications in nephrology. And he's made many contributions to this field. So thank you very much, Faisal. And we're very interested to hear from you and your experience in Morocco. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your warm introduction. Good afternoon, all. And thank you very much for having me. Hemodialysis is a life-saving miracle, but it comes with a hidden cost. It is one of the most water-intensive processes in all of healthcare. Today, we will explore a transformative solution, designing hemodialysis units, not as endpoints, but as engine of the circular economy. Drawing critical lessons from North Africa, a vision on the front lines of water scarcity, we will analyze two innovative strategies. Looking the potential of reject water for agriculture and harnessing the opportunities within spent dialysate. Well, hemodialysis presents a critical paradox for healthcare. In my country, Morocco, treating just 39,000 patients in hemodialysis, merely 0.1% of the total population consume a staggering amount of national scale resources. This includes 1.5 days of the country's fresh water, 2 days of electricity, waste equal to a day and a half of municipal trash, and CO2 emission matching 2 days of our national output. And this challenge is not unique to Morocco or North Africa. It is equally urgent for Europe. Nations like Spain, Italy, Belgium, and Germany are projected to face extreme water stress by 2040 due to the surging demand. This is a shared crisis. It demands immediate, decisive action across continents to preserve, optimize, and sustainably manage our water resources. To fully grasp the scale of this issue, let's look at the global picture. Hemodialysis uses a vast amount of water annually, estimated at 265 million cubic meters globally. To put that in perspective, this is equivalent to the total renewable water resources of two small Middle Eastern countries, Qatar and Kuwait combined. Alternatively, it is the annual water consumption of a city of 2.9 million people. So what is the essential path forward? We believe is the adoption of a circular economy. By reusing materials, extending product life cycles, and prioritizing renewable energy and durable design, we can drastically reduce dialysis environmental impact while building a more resilient and cost-effective healthcare system. Let's begin with our first strategy, RO reject water. This water typically discarded can be repurposed for non-potable uses such as irrigation, cleaning, and industrial processes, significantly enhancing the sustainability of dialysis operations. The process for reusing this water effectively begins by assessing its salt content through measurement of TDS or electrical conductivity. Water with Conductivity below 1,500 microsiemens per centimeter is generally suitable for irrigation, while levels below 2,400 microsiemens per centimeter can be used for flushing or cleaning. Higher salinity may harm crops or crop plumbing. However, mixing reject water with other sources can effectively dilute salt to safe levels. Recently, we explored this potential for large-scale potato farming. This initiative aims to benefit both the medical and agricultural sectors, as agriculture is a major freshwater consumer. Potatoes are ideal for this purpose due to their global importance as food source, their relative salt tolerance, and their adaptability to various environments. So what is the scale of this opportunity in Morocco? With 437 hemodialysis units, our country generates an estimated 1.1 million cubic meters of reject water per year. Importantly, this water not only complies with irrigation standards, but also matches the quality profile of major Moroccan rivers currently used for agriculture. To model potato growth under full drip irrigation with reject water in Morocco's hot semi-arid environment, we used the FEO aquacrop model focusing on CDLID rural province. The model was calibrated and validated using data from the 23 cropping season and field experiment with 5 popular Moroccan potato varieties. It accurately predicts yields between 29 and 47 tons per hectare, matching existing field experiment with high reliability. Our economic analysis based on Moroccan farm characteristics shows that using reject water for irrigation could generate an annual benefit of approximately $7,000 to $10,000 per hectare. This is based on irrigating 600 to 900 hectares. Globally, the potential is enormous. Using hemodialysis reject water for potato could irrigate 45,000 to 65,000 hectares, potentially generating $400 to $650 million annually. Beyond agriculture, we propose a powerful symbolic goal for Morocco, converting our 1.1 billion cubic meter of reject water into a sustainable irrigation source for the 2030 World Cup football pitches. The turf grass safely tolerates salinity far beyond the mild level in our reject water. The circular solution would irrigate 110 stadiums year-round, saving a billion liters of drinking water annually and showcase climate-smart leadership on the global stage. Building on this principle, we are also investigating the use of reject water for landscape irrigation at our own hemodialysis units. Our research focuses on salt-tolerant species, including palms such as Washingtonia filifera, shrubs like rosemary and Texas sage, and flowering plants such as bougainvillea. This reflects our commitment to enhancing the healing environment for patients and staff. This work led us to a fundamental question: what is the true value of the water we reject? Currently, it is seen at waste. But every water source has a price. Agriculture pays for water from dams, treatment plants, even desalination. This represents a clear economic opportunity. By assigning a monetary value to our reject water, we can transform it from a cost into a new revenue stream, promoting both sustainability and financial stability. Now, let's turn to our second more complex waste stream, spent dialysate. Its circular use is gaining recognition as a valuable resource for producing clean water, nutrient, and energy. Despite being a waste product, spent dialysate is characterized by high salinity, moderate nitrogenous contamination, and low biochemical oxygen demand and bacterial levels. This unique profile makes it a suitable candidate for water reclamation after appropriate treatment. However, we must be clear-eyed about its challenges. Recent studies have revealed significant levels of antibiotic resistance genes in sperm dialysate, which contain antibiotics such as beta-lactams, fluoroquinolones, and aminoglycosides. It also contains per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, forever chemical found in consumer products. Interestingly, hemodialysis effectively removes their substances from patients, resulting in lower patient levels but concentrating them in the sperm dialysate. Furthermore, micro and nanoplastic are found in sperm dialysate due to the wear and tear from the dialysis process itself. Mechanical abrasion, membrane rupture, and bloodline abrasion. Their release poses a new environmental concern as this contaminated dialysate enters our wastewater ecosystem. Additionally, these microplastics can act as carriers for antibiotic-resistant bacteria and genes, potentially exacerbating the spread of antimicrobial resistance in wastewater ecosystems. This is a critical phenomenon that warrants further investigation. Consequently, sperm dialysate poses a moderate yet significant ecological risk, necessitating careful management. Studies confirm its adverse dose-dependent effects on aquatic life. Prolonged exposure can trigger eutrophication and the subsequent formation of aquatic dead zones. If left untreated, the organic component in sperm dialysate can break down anaerobically to generate methane, a potent greenhouse gas. It is important to note that over 20 years, methane is 84 times more potent than CO2. Annually, this waste is estimated to release emission equivalent to 600 metric tons of methane. This is a significant challenge, but it also represents a major energy recovery opportunity. The selection of appropriate treatment technology depends on the specific composition. Thus, osmosis and nanofiltration effectively remove salinity and pathogens but are energy intensive. Electrochemical oxidation is less efficient in reducing salinity and nitrogen levels. When we look at cost, electrochemical oxidation is more expensive. Therefore, due to its lower operational expense and proven efficiency, RO or nanofiltration is often the preferred choice for large-scale application. But beyond treatment for water reclamation, sperm dialysate is also a source of valuable nutrients. Like human urine, it contains large concentration of ammonia, nitrogen, and orthophosphates. This can be recovered through physicochemical methods, such as the crystallization of the struvite, a valuable biofertilizer. The use of struvite in agriculture shows promising profitability. Our analysis indicates that a single hemodialysis unit with 20 shares could produce approximately 2.4 kilograms of struvite each day. This is not only profitable but has the potential to fertilize around 5 hectares of arable land. Furthermore, hemodialysis effluent typically being discharged at 20 to 25 C retains significant amount of thermal energy. Globally, up to 1,600 gigawatt-hour of thermal energy is lost annually from dialysis units. This energy could potentially heat approximately 140,000 homes each year, resulting in an annual forecast saving of around 118 million euros if recovered with heat exchangers. We can even generate electricity from sperm dialysate. Microbial fuel cells can leverage the dialysate inherent conductivity. Bacteria in the MFCs produce electrons, and the higher conductivity improves ion movement, resulting in better power output and performance. This comprehensive valorization significantly reduces carbon emission by using recovered resources instead of extracting new ones. We can cut CO2 emission by 40 to 50%. In quantitative terms, the valorization of spent dialysate enables significant carbon saving, approximately 0.28 kg of CO2 per cubic meter of recycled water, or 0.6 kg for every kilowatt hour of recovered thermal energy, and 0.35 kg per kilogram of striver produced. The saving substantially reduced the carbon footprint of dialysis operations. In conclusion, by embracing a circular economy in our hemodialysis units, we aim to convert waste into valuable resources. This focus is critical for Morocco, where implementing this principle will significantly improve resource efficiency and reduce the environmental footprint of life-saving treatments. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Faisal. That's really, really interesting. I'm sure there'd be a lot of questions. I have a quick question for both of you before I open it to everybody else. I know that even in the UK, it makes financial sense to reclaim the RO water that's rejected down the drain, but very, very few units actually do that in practice. Faisal, do you want to stop sharing your screen? No. But do you have a sense of how, like, what proportion of dialysis units in Morocco and Tunisia do reclaim their reject water at the moment? Either of you could answer.
Yes. For Morocco, I think that approximately between 1 to 3% of hemodialysis units are beginning to reuse the reject osmosis, reverse osmosis reject water, actually. But we are fighting to get people having the true knowledge, to having the true financial interest of doing these practices for having economic profit from this reusing.
So it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's so low, and yet it's probably even more financially worthwhile in Morocco than in the UK. And if you can you think, what one change do you think could help to accelerate that change, the adoption of RO reclamation, RO water?
I think that first of all, every dialysis unit, before starting to reuse the reject water, it must check first the RO system, and upgrading this to less rejecting system, what we call the new RO systems, or system rejecting less than 10 to 15% of reject water to drain. Actually, to giving you one practical example, in reviewing some studies from Malaysia, we have found that in the dialysis center, people are continuing to draw 16 to 70% of water to drain as reject water, and they are trying to reuse reject. However, when we have done economic calculation, we have found that the fact to saving water from being rejected have a higher financial benefit, more 20 to 30% much higher than rejecting than reusing reject water on itself. So a clear message for everyone. First, beginning with the first R in the triad. So you can check the RO system, and when the system is fully not functioning and not lot of water rejecting, we can go to the second R, which is the recycling, which is the reusing, reusing the reject, and after when we finish the second R, we can go to the third R, which is more complex and more technical, which is the recycling of spent dialysate.
And when you say checking the system, are you talking mainly about replacing the machine, or are you talking about optimizing the settings as well?
So first we can try to optimize the machines first. Then after, if the machine is very old, or if the machine is not technically allowing updates, so we can go for changing it. We have recently done some research in Morocco, and the paper can be accessible in Journal of Nephrology next day. We have tried to economically evaluating the switch of all Morocco to this new hemodialysis machines, and we have found that in 10 years, which to 15 years, but we have set a limit for 10 years, which are the manufacturer in life certification for these systems to be used. We have conclude that there are a lot of benefit from saving water in terms of water cost, because water is costing highly in our water stressed countries. So we can, even if we try to change our RO system by new ones, we can buy it from saving from water saving, so from the price from the bills of water. So it is a little bit interesting and very interesting.
That sounds really interesting. Is that paper is soon to come out? Or?
Yes.
Fantastic, thank you. Mohamed, I don't know if you want to comment on Tunisia, or we can open the floor for different questions as well, if that's you prefer.
In Tunisia, the percentage is roughly 1 to 2% involvement in this approach. And the first search we are dealing with is how to raise awareness about the importance of this problem. In Tunisia, for 12 million persons, we have 14,000 hemodialysis patients. For the whole Africa, we have the highest prevalence of hemodialysis patients. So unless we will fix the problem of water, in next future, we will be not able to provide water for the next generation of patients. So we have to tackle this problem efficiently, as Faisal demonstrated. But to arrive to this checkpoint, we have to involve the whole stakeholder involved with this approach, political, industrial, and patient, and staff, and so on. So without awareness, without involvement, and without resilience, we cannot afford and we cannot tackle such important problem. For Tunisia, the water consumption per year is more than 1.3 million cubic meter per year. It's enormous. It is enormous in a country with water scarcity. Yep. So we have to tackle this problem efficiently. We have to raise awareness. We have to involve all stakeholders to move from the vicious to the virtuous circle, as demonstrated by Faisal. So it is a huge problem for our country and for our patients, and for the equity.
Yeah, I thank you very much. It sounds like we were all in the same boat, and it's good that we're here together and hopefully learning from each other to make the case. And Karen, did you have a question? You need to unmute.
Mohamed and Faisal, very interesting talks. I had a question about the presentation of Faisal. You are already applying several strategies to regenerate your spent dialysate, but I missed, because I'm also on call, what do you finally use the spent dialysate for? So you remove, you precipitate the phosphate and the nitrogen compound using magnesium sulfate, struvite precipitation, but and you do several other technologies. But what do you finally do with the dialysate? Is it gray water for reuse, or we recycle it completely, or as feed in the RO? I missed that part. Sorry.
Thank you very much. First of all, it is crucial to distinguish between two processes: spent dialysate recycling, which is an environmental procedure for resource recovery. So what we are trying to do experiment for, but we are not doing spent dialysate regeneration, which is the core technology enabling a wearable artificial kidney to function in a closed loop. So as you know, in Morocco and everywhere in the world, this wastewater is considered by rules as an industrial wastewater. So it's prohibited its reuse within dialysis unit. Typically, they are a place of patients' care. We are advocating for new and risk-based regulation and policies to allow the sustainable practices. But as you may know, hemodialysis per se will never achieve true sustainability without addressing its large challenge, which is recycling spent dialysate. While renewable energy can decarbonize power usage and mechanical recycling can manage plastic waste, water recycling remains the biggest hurdle. Spent dialysate is a highly pollutant wastewater. Untreated, it's released methane. It's released CO2, harms aquatic ecosystems and squander a vital resource. The dialysis community must prioritize innovation solution to reclaim and reuse this contaminated water, as is not just an option, but it's an urgent necessity for environmental and operational sustainability. And by the way, I hope that in your research team in the Center of Sustainable Healthcare or in your unit in Holland, that you are doing some researches for this maybe more complex stream to have solution. Even we don't find any solution, we nephrologists, to this spent dialysate emission. So hemodialysis for me will never be sustainable at all. So it is a big hurdle and we must focus on it. So this is my point of view.
Okay, thanks a lot. Clear.
Thank you. Any other questions for our speakers? I'm wondering, what is the time frame that you both see for? Well, I suppose Faisal, you gave a time frame over 10 years for upgrading all the RO plants in Morocco. What time frame would you imagine for recovering or processing spent dialysate?
So for in Morocco, recovering spent dialysate in Morocco?
Well, in the world, maybe.
Maybe in the world. It's need a lot of researchers, but actually to give people a simple and effective message that everyone can be a greener, that every unit can be green. So just looking at our RO system and upgrading it. So more reject water to drain is a crime for me. So first of all, not trying to do to have a complexity everywhere everyone in every country. Maybe in low resource seeking countries, people can do simple measures to upgrade their RO systems, and then to be greener, and to be, maybe as you see in your center, greener champion. So they can be the greener champions by doing simple and not costly actions, so simple actions to do. But for sperm dialysate, I think that only our team, which are trying to do some researches, but they are still in experimental, not the researchers, real researchers, but because we must have what we call collective efforts, and professional societies, nephrology society, can provide support for us and for other teams to do researches in this thematic. So I think that is an important thematic, but neglected by all of our nephrology community, which is the recycling of sperm dialysate.
Thank you.
I think there is another point. We need to invite industry to join green dialysis and green nephrology. As Faisal said, the first point and the first step is to upgrade RO system. This can be easily encouraged if industry provide upgrade unit with an affordable price. The biggest hurdle to change and to upgrade RO unit is the pricing, and the pricing is dictated and is provided by industry. So the ball is in the hand of the industry. So we need to, like this webinar, the next webinar, we need to invite industry to give their point of view to improve sustainability. So this is, in my point of view, we cannot go ahead and have a dream without industry, either for machines or for the RO system, because the result is very clear. The Bendy paper few years ago demonstrated that we can easily halven the water consumption by simply upgrading both the dialysis machine and the RO system. And this,
it's a very clear challenge to us. I think we'll have to take it up, and we will have to bring together some industry representatives and engineers to our future meeting. So thank you, and thank you so much, both of you, for your insights. It's so valuable. Really appreciate it. And please come again and join our network meetings on different topics. Contribute.